Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to Sisterhood Check-In. I am your author and coach, Nadira Lewis, and I am excited that you have taken your Friday out to spend time with me as a special guest and co-host. I appreciate all of your love and support. If you are watching us on YouTube, make sure you click the subscribe button, hit the notification button so that you can be notified every time we upload a new video. If you are watching us via Facebook, make sure you click like and share if you've been blessed by the content that you have been receiving this far. All right. So I just want to take the time out to today is going to be a little bit of a different show. We don't have any guests, but today we're going to talk about an interesting subject. And I say interesting because this type of mindset, when it comes to femininity and masculinity, affects relationships. It affects man and women relationships. It affects friendship relationship. It affects all different types of relationships. But today, for the purpose of this show, we're going to talk about how it affects male and female relationships. And so I kind of want to just talk to you and really kind of take my time going through this broadcast, because when I learned this information, it changed my life. And it caused me to look at relationships totally different, both from a biblical perspective, when it comes to how a woman should adorn herself, how she should carry herself, and also from a perspective of how men view relationships and how women view relationships. So I want to take the time to really go over this. So I have put together a slide that I want to actually show you guys. So I want to take the time to go through this. But before I actually do that, I just put in the comments and let me know how your week has gone. You know, have you had any interesting things happen to you? You know, what has your week been like? I'm interested to know. And put in the comments and let me know where you're watching from. I know we have a huge amount of fans that watch us. So put in the comments and let me know exactly where you're watching from, so I'll know, get an idea. Are you from Atlanta, Florida, California? Put it in the comments and let me know while I actually get this presentation up. So while I'm actually getting this presentation up, I would like to play something for you guys, just in case you guys have had a difficult week. I know it was a pretty emotionally tough week for me, but I made it through, and I'm making it through. And I've learned some things about myself. I learned some things about who I am. And one thing I've realized is that you just still have to keep going. And not just keep going in a sense of forgetting what has happened or how you were affected by the things that have happened to you, but keep going in a sense of moving forward and realizing that all things are working together for your good. And so when you think about some of the things that you're challenged with, make sure you hold that. That's why the Bible tells us to guard our heart with all diligence, for out of it flows the issues of life. So you have to make sure that you guard your heart, and that you are, which is why I want to do talk about this femininity, this feminine energy versus masculine energy. So before we actually go into that, I'm going to go ahead and play this video for you, and I'll be right back after this. I know I might be, hope we don't have no issues with the screen. Oh yeah, there we go. So we are back. So I am going to go ahead and introduce my slide while I'm waiting for my computer to catch up. I'm going to read some of your comments. Okay, well, thank you, Marcia from Miami, Florida. Thank you so much for joining us. And Krista Ford. All right. She is watching from Louisiana. Welcome. Thank you so much for your support. I appreciate it. You guys are really going to love this. I'm going to, okay, there we go. See, it's all working out. I thought it was not there. And then all of a sudden, look at that. Look at God. I tell you. So we're going to go ahead and pull this up. Pull this up on the screen. And exit this out. All right. So, all right, let's pull it up on the screen so you guys can see it now. All right. Okay, so we're going to talk about feminine energy versus masculine energy. How many of you know exactly what I mean when I say feminine energy or masculine energy? If you know, put it in the comments and let me know if you have an idea of what I'm referring to when I say feminine energy versus masculine energy. And don't worry, if you think you know and you're not quite sure, don't worry, we're going to go right into it and I'm going to explain that to you. Okay? So the definition of feminine energy, right? Definition of feminine energy means that you have the qualities of softness, receptivity, and you're nurturing, right? These qualities draw on intuition and tapping into those things that aren't necessarily seen with the naked eye. And for some, that may mean, for some of you that don't know, that's intuition. You know, the characteristics of a woman is of a feminine woman is she's a woman, right? She's also modest. She's tender. She's affectionate. She's intuitive. She's emotional. So when you think about, I want you to remember this and hold on to this as we're going through the presentation. When you think about the word feminine energy, the words feminine energy. So it's a woman that is modest. She's tender. She's affectionate. She's soft, receptive, and nurturing. She's emotional. So we're going to talk about, as I said, there are many different ways, okay, and different discussions, all kinds of, and I'm not saying that based on this information that I'm providing to you, that it's the end all be all information, but this is just information that I have learned that I want to share with you, okay? So don't beat me over the head and say, that's not exactly, I'm giving you just a little bit so that you can gather a little bit of understanding of what I mean. So when it comes to feminine energy, right? Feminine energy chooses with her ears. And you might say, well, what do you mean by that? We are built to listen. We are built to be drawn in to a man by how he speaks to us and how he presents himself to us, how he expresses himself using his words, which is why you have to speak to a man, right? In order to make sure you have to speak and you have to watch and make sure that his actions, okay, match his words. So as women, we are built to listen. We are drawn in. You might notice that some women, they fall in love with men that just talks to them and you're like, you're in love, because we are built to listen and choose with our ears. Okay. Now that can also be a setback, because sometimes in having since that we have the capability and since we're built to be drawn by what we hear, it can work for us and against us. So you have to make sure that, again, that you're guarding your heart with all diligence, right? But in the whole sense, feminine energy chooses with her ears. Okay, feminine energy also feels good to do good. Well, you might say, well, what exactly do you mean by that? What do you mean feel good to do good? Okay. We are more like drawn to how a man makes us feel. If he makes us feel secure, protected, and cherished, then we start to feel good. And when we feel protected, how many of y'all women know when you feel loved, when you feel protected, when you feel cherished, it makes you want to be more, it makes you want to do more in the relationship. So feminine energy feels good to do good. And I want you to remember that, because we're going to talk about how that relates to masculine energy, because masculine energy does good to feel good. Feminine energy, we feel good to do good. So when we are drawn in by what a man says, and we begin to feel secure and protected, we feel good, and it makes us want to do more. Right? It makes us want to be more involved. It makes our heart shine, makes our heart smile. Right? Especially when a man actually expresses himself to you and how he displays his love to you, it makes you feel good. Right? Modern day women are driven sexually. Right? Modern day women are driven sexually and most of the time they're looking for fireworks, right, in a relationship, that Hollywood expression. But we were designed to listen, right? We were designed to listen and watch and have a man prove himself to us, right? We were meant to fall in love gradually, or grow in love gradually through a process, right? So modern day women, woo, we jumping right at it. Woo, I feel fire spark. Ah, I'm in love. Da, 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 da. And you have not given the opportunity. You have not given the man the opportunity to prove himself. So because we fall in love based on what we hear, and feminine energy tends to be more drawn to what we hear, you have to be careful and make sure that you take your time, slow down, and allow him to prove himself. Because when you give him that opportunity to prove himself, remember, masculine energy does good to feel good. So and I don't want to get ahead of myself, because we're going to talk about what masculine energy and the specifics and that characteristic and what they do. Okay, so again, feminine energy feels good to do good, right? Feminine women choose men that know how to cherish them, how to love them, and take time to understand you. Okay, so let me stop right there. Okay. Some of us are in relationships with men, right, where they don't appreciate you. You have taken on the masculine energy, and we'll talk about what the masculine energy is, and you have not, you kind of accepted whatever they've given you. You know, not only were you drawn in by the air, but you had the fireworks. You didn't give time for him to prove himself. So now you have all these butterflies flowing, and you've got this masculine energy, and you're so hung over on him that you haven't given yourself the opportunity to be able to allow him to prove himself. So he has not gone through the process that it takes for you, what we call vetting. He is not going through the vetting process. So what you have done is you have chosen a man who doesn't know how to love you, and he cheats because you have not gone through the vetting process. You have not given him an opportunity to prove him. You've jumped in with everything, and we are built to hear, to listen. We are built to gradually fall for a man in a relationship. So when you jump ahead of that process, what happens is you can wind up being hurt. Okay. And I've experienced that before, and it can be a devastating process emotionally. And so this is something that I too had to learn, right? Women, okay? Feminine women, when you don't take time to care for yourself, you will always attract low value men, right? When you are looking through masculine energy to decide who a man is without speaking to him and making sure his words match his actions, then what happens is you start to attract men that don't, as I said in the previous slide, that don't know how to love you, that don't know how to care for you, right? When you don't take time to actually take care of yourself. Now, I'm not saying you have to walk around here with makeup on all day. You have to walk around and, dressed up, but take some time to care for yourself. When you think about in the Bible, when you think about Esther and the process that the women have gone through to be just for an opportunity to be before the king, the women took 12 months to care for themselves. Self-care. This is not just about just spending so much energy on how you look only, but because men choose with their eyes, that is the very first thing that they look at, how you care for yourself. And taking care of yourself is a part of self-care. When you take time to make sure that your hair is done, and I'm not talking about putting so much emphasis on how you look physically that you overlook the things that the other things that make a woman who she is. No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about when you don't take time to care for yourself, when you don't comb your hair and you're running out the house and you're running out the house with slippers and you're looking jack crazy. You never know, especially single women, you don't know who's watching you. You don't know. So I'm not saying you have to dress up in a suit and walk around with heels on just to go to the store, but take time to care for yourself. That it's a part of self-care. I spend time doing things. I love taking care of me, because when I take care of me, I feel better emotionally. I feel better. Like, I love taking care of me. So I don't have to depend on somebody else to do it. I love seeing myself at my best, right? And that's the mindset that you have to have. You have to be able to take care of yourself. The Bible says that the older women should teach the younger women how to love their husbands, how to be modest. It's not about, like I said, just walking around saying, oh my gosh, we have to spend so much time in the way we look. But you should be able to take care of yourself, because again, masculine energy chooses with their eyes first. Okay. Now, we're going to talk about masculine energy. We've talked a great deal about feminine energy, but before we actually go into talking about masculine energy, we're going to go ahead and take a quick break. I'm going to go ahead and take a quick commercial break, and I want you to take some time and internalize some of the things that I'm saying. Internalize the things that I'm saying and think about how are you in tune with your feminine? Are you intuitive? Have you been in touch with the feminine side of you? Are you masculine? Are you more? And I'm not talking about in terms of looking pretty. I'm talking about taking care of yourself, meaning that you're intuitive, you're loving. Are you leading your relationships with love and kindness? Or are you leading your relationships with nigga what? With the masculine type of energy? So I want you to think about that as we begin to take our commercial break. But when we come back, we're going to go ahead and we're going to talk about the masculine energy. So we'll be right back after this. Are you a woman in need of wisdom? Do you sometimes battle with separating who you are now versus who you feel like you ought to be? Do you question God's plan for your life? Is there a sense of uncertainty in the areas of choosing healthy relationships? Hi, I'm Nadira, CEO and founder of the Becoming a Woman of Proverbs Wisdom Academy. We offer classes and webinars in the area of life and business so that you can be equipped to succeed in the marketplace. For enrollment or for more information, please visit us at www.womenofproverbscoaching.com, and I'll see you on the inside. All right, welcome back to Sisterhood Check-In. And we were talking about, I was talking about in the first segment about, I was describing the feminine energy and how it affects relationships. In this segment, I want to talk about the masculine energy and how the masculine man chooses based on his eyes. Masculine men are attracted to the way a woman looks first. It doesn't mean that it's the end all be all, but masculine men are attracted. They choose with their eyes. So when you think about that, and when you think about when a man chooses with his eyes, that means he's looking at how you care for yourself. Do you take care of yourself? Do you brush your teeth? Do you comb your hair? Do you care about yourself, or do you have to have somebody always telling you to do something? Put some shoes, put some clothes on. Are you always walking around in pajamas all the time? You're not going to be attractive to a man knowing that he chooses with his eyes if you always walking around here looking like who did it, why, and who. Okay, it doesn't work like that, especially if you desire this in relationships. So masculine energy chooses with his eyes. Feminine women take care of themselves because they know, as I said before, they know that a man is attracted first, right, to what he sees. So he's going to look at you and be like, I see her. Whenever you think about when a masculine man approaches you, he's checking you out first. He's looking at you with his eyes to see it. Now, it doesn't mean that he rides past all the other qualities, because he does. A man does go through protocols where they have to first see, then they check and see if you are actually living the type of lifestyle that you portray before him. So I'm not saying, so don't get it twisted and say, oh, she just only, no, what I'm saying is that masculine energy chooses with their eyes. So when you show or exhibit self-care to a man, it proves to him that you are a woman that takes care of yourself and that you care about how you look, right? Masculine energy, as I said before, does good to feel good. He enjoys doing things, right, to make you happy and to make you feel secure. He loves going to work so that he can provide for you and take you out on a date. Masculine energy they do good to feel good. It makes them feel good to do things for you when they can pay for that date, when they open up that door. That's why it's important for women to stay in your feminine energy. Let him open the door. He feels good when he does good to feel good. So every time he lifts out that chair for you, it makes him feel, it makes him feel like it's a sense of validation. When he can pay for that dinner date, it makes him feel validated. It makes him feel good. When he can show up and pick you up, it makes him feel good. When he can pay the bills in the house, especially if he's a husband, if he can pay the bills in the house and he can go to work and earn his money, he feels good, because a masculine man does good to feel good, whereas a woman feels good to do good. You following me? Let me look in the comments and see if you following me. See if anybody have any comments. And if you have any questions or any comments, please put it in the comments and I will definitely read it as we go along. Are you enjoying this so far? Put in the chat if you're enjoying this. If this is really blessing you and helping you, put it in the comments and let me know that you are enjoying this, okay? So a feminine man loves opening doors and showing you how he cherishes you. All right. So don't be so quick to run to the door and be like, oh, when you operate in your feminine energy, they will run at the opportunity to be able to open the door for you, because masculine men are attracted to feminine women. Now, you show up and you got this masculine energy and I ain't finna let nobody, and you ain't finna be doing nothing, and you do. Then what happens is you turn masculine men away. You tend to attract more of a feminine type man. And when we talked about earlier, remember I told you to hold on to what feminine energy is. And feminine energy is soft, delicate, when you start to operate in that masculine energy, I'm taking charge. Ain't nobody finna tell me what to do. Ain't finna be doing nothing. I can do this on my own. Yeah, I'm sure you can. But if you're going to be in a relationship, you have to learn how to relate. So you have to man down, step back, tap into that feminine energy so that you can attract a masculine male. He respects you and he loves protecting you. He loves being able to walk on the side of the curb when you're taking a walk to make sure that nobody is spread. He'll be in the gym. He'll be in the gym, building himself up, trying to get the muscles, trying to flex, because he does good to feel good. Okay. And I'm just checking back at your comments as I'm doing this. So let's move on to the next one. Okay. Masculine energy is not obsessed with the way they look. It doesn't mean they don't care about how they look, but they're not obsessed with it. They're not in the mirror longer than you, taking up the mirror, you getting ready, and they spending hours they're not obsessed with it. It doesn't mean they don't take care of themselves and they're not clean cut and they don't wash up, but it means they are more purposeful. A masculine man is thinking about his money. He's thinking about his purpose. He's thinking about how he's going to provide, how he's going to protect. He's not sitting in the mirror talking about what you think about, this little baby. You spend it all day in the back. Masculine men are not like that. And if you find that you are attracting men that are obsessed with the way they look, they just, they're spending so much energy and time on the way they look, then you are displaying more of a masculine trait and you're attracting feminine men. Now, it doesn't mean, like I said, masculine men like to look good. They like to take care of themselves, but they're not obsessed with it. Okay. So if you find yourself attracting men that care more about the mirror, about their clothes, they are so consumed, you might want to check that. Then you are displaying more of a masculine type of thing in a relationship. Masculine energy men have this part really blessed me. Oh my gosh. I want you to really get this. All right. Put a 1 in the chat and tell me if you guys are really enjoying this. Tell me that you're enjoying it. I want to hear back from you. This is some good stuff. I'm telling you. Tell me that. Put it in the chat that you are enjoying this. All right. Sharonda says, absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you. I'm telling you, this is some good stuff. When I learned this, I was just like, it changed my life. It caused me to look at my own life and so I'm not just telling you this. This is stuff that I'm learning myself. Masculine energy have a great capacity to love, right? He will put himself in danger to protect you, his wife, and his children. He will that is the greatest level of love. The Bible says no greater love than this, when a man lay down his life for his friend. When you think about a loving man, this type of man, a masculine energy man, when he puts himself out there to protect you, this is the greatest love. Why do you think that God is neither male or female, but he chooses to identify with the masculine, with masculinity, because the masculine energy provides, right? Protects and cherishes. So when God put man over woman, it wasn't to subjugate her. All right. It was meant to be an example of how God loves us. So when you think about a masculine man being in a role of leadership and leading and protecting and providing, don't look at it. Don't get into this masculine energy. I'm not gonna let nobody tell me what to do. You ain't gonna be telling me nothing. No. You have to lean back in your feminine energy and let the masculine energy man do good to feel good, because that is his makeup. That is the way God created him. Masculine, this right here really did it for me. This right here really, really did it for me. Masculine energy men seek virtue. Let that sink in for a minute. I'm going to let that sink in for a minute. Masculine energy seeks virtue. Virtue is a woman that manages her when a woman manages her sexuality in a high value way, that's virtue, right? That's virtue. A woman's body is highly sacred. We create life. Life comes from our body. We are highly in tune with our body. A man's body is built for battle. A masculine woman is not in tune with her body. which is why she offered it up like a piece of bread. The masculine energy will not treat her body sacredly. She'll just sleep with anybody, you know, because she's not in tune with her body. Men respond to virtue. Okay. If you don't signal virtue to a masculine man, then he will sleep with you and disregard you like something unworthy. And you will always attract masculine women, attract feminine men. So when you think about what a masculine woman is, just like we said, masculine energy, do good to feel good. So this is how you know you're operating with the masculine energy. Okay. You're choosing, because we said masculine energy chooses with his eyes, right? So when you begin to develop these traits, or what we call standards, he got to look like this, he got to be this tall, he got to be that tall, and he got to drive this kind of car, he got to work this kind of job. You are choosing from a masculine energy, because masculine men choose with their eyes first. Women, we choose with our ears. We listen first. That's how we're built. So when you start to be coming up, well, oh, he got to be this and this, and he got to be that, then what? It doesn't mean that you don't have traits and things that you look for that you expect him to be employed. It just means that that is not the first thing you're looking at. So when you are at a point where you're always choosing with your eyes, you're operating in the masculine energy, right? And you will always attract feminine men. Always. Just think about it. Think about Ahab and Jezebel. Jezebel was that, we got to be careful not to confuse being strong with being like Jezebel, controlling. Oh, I'm strong. I'm a strong Black woman. Well, the key thing is to be strong, not tough. To be strong. Okay? There's a reason why God speaks of modesty, because he knows what he's trying to create. He is trying to allow women to signal masculine men who will provide, protect, and cherish you. All right? The modern day society says, take it all off. Take off all your clothes and take it. That's what the modern day society says. Show it all. Reveal it all. Let your cleavage out. Let it all out. But here's the issue. When it comes to masculine men, and feminine women, we're supposed to signal them, right? We're supposed to use our feminine energy to signal them. And men, we're supposed to signal that we're a woman of virtue, right? But when you signal a man with too much aggression, and you'll draw men that will simply just have sex with you, but they won't marry you, okay? They'll tend to look at you as you're too straightforward. And I know we're in a society, I know I'm going to hear it. Well, this is a different time now. Women are we just doing this, and we taking charge. We ain't waiting, but when you operate in the masculine energy, I know a particular couple in particular, and I'm not going to say their name, but I'm sure if I did mention this particular celebrity that you would know exactly what I'm talking about, where she was always in that masculine energy, always trying, I'm going, and she's been with him for years, and he has still, and her desire was to be married. He still hasn't married her, even after 18, 19, 20 years of being together, right? And that happens to a lot of us, because we think by being straightforward and producing this aggression, I'm finna do this. I ain't gotta wait. I ain't waiting for nothing. This the 20th century. I ain't gotta do this. I'm finna handle my business. Well, he'll be more drawn to have sex with you, but he won't marry you. Okay? Men marry virtue. Let that sink in. Men marry virtue. When you carry yourself with feminine energy and you look at your body and you carry yourself sexually with virtue, men look at you as a woman. You signal yourself to a man as a woman of virtue. Don't take my word for it. Just try it out. Am I helping somebody? Am I helping somebody? Am I helping somebody? Let me put it in the chat if I'm helping you, because I know I'm helping me. I have learned some stuff. Put it in the chat. Yes, Sharonda said, absolutely, yes. And she said, yes, right. And she also said, men are more attractive to women of strength over a woman who is strong. Yes, I couldn't have put that any better, BFF. That is so true. So, when you treat your body as sacred, it signals virtue to a masculine man. When you are in tune with your body, you are the sexual gatekeeper. Think about that. You are the sexual gatekeeper. Because of this is where your power base lies. All right, in terms of relationships, when you carry yourself a certain way of high value and you treat yourself the way God sees you, then you attract a different type of man. You attract a masculine man, not a little wimp, not a little punk. You know how we used to say in the world, not a little punk, but I want you to change how you signal men. And this grieves me because not only have I experienced this, but I know a lot of women that have taken on the masculine energy and have attracted feminine men. Feminine men that are more in tune with the feminine. Now we can both, as men and women, have both masculine and feminine traits, character traits. But what happens is when you begin to operate in the masculine energy, you attract feminine men that are, because masculine men, let me tell you something right now. If you don't know already, and this might help some of you like it did me when it comes to the type of men that you attract. Masculine men do not like masculine women. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Masculine women always head bump. It's like a power struggle. You know, there's always competition. There's always who's going to be in charge, who's going to be the head. It's almost like a two-headed beast. So though you may be the boss, okay, and though you might be running the company and you managing stuff and you holding it down at work, when you are in a relationship, you want to tend to lean more into the feminine energy. And you will be amazed that when you tap into, when I learned this, it changed my life, changed my perspective. It changed the type of people or men. Let me be specific. It changed the type of men that that were attracted to me. Okay. So I started to draw masculine men, not feminine men. And I've had some moments where I've drawn some feminine men, and there's nothing wrong with men that expresses, intuitive mode. It's just that masculine men, they have a different, like I said, they are more apt to provide and protect. They want to they are led by doing, they do good to feel good. So they're wanting to go out of their way to show you that they cherish you, that they appreciate you. So I want you to think about it. If you think about any relationships that you've been in and you've noticed that you are drawn to men that are more apt to operate in the feminine, and you also will notice that if they're more driven by a feminine energy, then more times out of 10, you gotta kind of, they in between jobs, it's like, oh, I'm about to get another job. I'm about to, the word that favorite word, I'm about to. So, and it doesn't mean that things, because I know there's going to be some people, there's always going to be somebody that's going to be the extreme. I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with changing jobs or looking for something better. But what I am trying to say is that with with feminine energy men, they are more prone to, they're less likely to have the mindset of providing, protecting, loving, and cherishing you. Okay. Some of them will try to love you without doing nothing. They want to feel good to do good. That's what that feminine energy is. You got to make me feel good in order for me to do stuff for you. You gotta show me that you this. You gotta show me you this and that. You gotta prove. That's that feminine energy. Masculine energy loves running and opening the door for you. They want to do good in order to feel good. As I said, when a woman operates in masculine energy, she will always choose with her eyes first. It doesn't mean, and she'll have all the male protocols, with choosing men. And more than likely, she'll choose toxic men. I'm just saying. That's what I've learned in my experience is that masculine women tend to choose with their eyes first. Oh, he's so fine. He looks so good. Oh my God. Did you see his body? He is bang, bang, bang. That masculine energy, choosing with your eyes first, instead of conversating with the man, figuring out, learning how to listen with your ears to see what's on the inside of him. We are so, and let me tell you, some of us get so messed up because we get so used to operating in the masculine energy, choosing a male based on how he looked. You don't have time, you don't take time to get to know a man, and then you wind up missing out on somebody because of their exterior. Okay. You start looking at them and you be like, oh, I mean, that happened to me. I'm just saying that happened to me. I almost overlooked somebody because I started to point out stuff. Oh, he's too short. Oh, he's doing this, picking stuff apart. That's masculine energy. But when I started to lean into my feminine energy and I realized, let me listen, let me have a conversation with you. Let me see what's on the inside of you. Let me see if you display masculine qualities, masculine energies, because feminine women attract masculine men and vice versa. All right. Next, masculine men don't want to be chased. Let me pin this right here. Think about that. I really want you to think about that. Masculine men don't want to be chased. Stop chasing men. Stop running out. When you think about a masculine man who does good to feel good, they do not like it when women run after them. You blowing up his phone. Where you at? Where you at? No. Step back and do let him. It doesn't mean that you can't respond to his initiation, but stop running in and running after him. Oh my God, he's so cute. Oh my gosh, you just hot and bothered. That's what that is. Masculine men, real masculine men, don't like to be chased. So when you running after a man, but I love him, I just want to be with him, they don't like it. Then what happens is, like I said, they'll have sex with you, they'll be with you, and then they'll discard you like a piece of bread. Don't chase men. Masculine men don't want to be chased because they enjoy the chase, the process of chasing a woman. They enjoy going after and pursuing you. That is what masculine men enjoy. Remember, masculine men do good to feel good. They enjoy the chase. They enjoy pursuing you. You mess that up when you step in and you do the chasing. You mess up the whole flow of how it's supposed. And then what happens is you always just getting into it, about to be in a relationship, you're about to be able to meet him, you're about to be able to go somewhere, but you never really enter into a committed relationship because you need both the feminine and the masculine energy in order to have a successful relationship. And I can go deeper into that, but I'm not going to do that in this particular session. But when you don't manage, all right, your sexuality with poise, grace, and dignity, you're going to always be played. I'm just saying. You're going to be a plaything to him. And he will be bored. He will eventually get bored with you and toss you like somebody that didn't mean absolutely nothing to him. So it's important for us as women to operate in a feminine energy and learn how to manage our sexuality with poise, with grace, and with dignity. Your body is the temple of the Holy Spirit. Your body is sacred. Your breasts are made to sustain children, men and women. As far as children, your body is created to give life. Your body is sacred. And when you treat your body as such, then you will attract a masculine man who respects you, who honors you, and won't discard of you like you just some piece of meat that he just bought from the supermarket. So, and that's the end of that. So I just wanted to just kind of hear from you guys. So put in the comments if you understand, and you understand based on what I said in the presentation, and you have really learned a lot tonight about the feminine and masculine energy. I want to hear from you. I want to know if this changed your perspective about relationships. And this can happen whether you're married or single. Women that are married, you want to maintain. See, I've been both married and single, and it still works the same way. You want to keep that attraction with your husband. You want to maintain, to operate from the feminine energy. Masculine, if you've married a masculine man, he is attracted to you when you are in your feminine energy. He's attracted to that. All right. You want to keep your husband's eyes from looking or going after another woman. Not that it's right, but you have to take some of those things into account. Look at how you care for yourself. When you care for yourself, you show when you do things like taking care of yourself, brushing your hair, stop going out the house looking all crazy. Stop walking out the house, and there are going to be times, sometimes you just got to run out the house and do some stuff, but stop walking out the house looking crazy. Stop looking all, oh, I'm just running to the store. I'm just looking all kind of crazy. Take time to care for yourself. When you do that, you will attract a masculine man every time. Now, you can't help being attracted, but feminine men are not going to be attracted to you when you operate in your masculinity, because masculine men are drawn by what they see. They choose with their eyes first. And if you looking all crazy in all kind of ways and you don't take care of yourself and you don't do things for you, you don't operate in self-care, they're not attracted to that. That doesn't mean that there are going to be some days you just may not feel like doing your hair. When you're home, you just don't feel like it sometimes, and that's okay. But overall, are you caring for you? Are you caring for yourself emotionally? Are you caring for yourself spiritually? Because you cannot be effective to anybody that's around you if you don't first take care of yourself. And this is something that I am learning about me overall. So I'm not just talking at you, I'm talking to you, because it's something that I'm learning to apply in my own life, that how important it is to manage your sexuality with poise and with grace, and to treat your body. And you realize when you have a certain level of respect for yourself, then guess what? You teach people how to treat you. So when you treat yourself and you operate, and there are times we are as women, especially you're going to operate, when you're in that job, sometimes you have to operate in that masculine mode. When you're running, when you're handling business, sometimes you have to be in boss mode. But when you go home, or when you're relating or in a relationship with your significant other of the opposite sex, you cannot operate at the same level emotionally as he is, because you will always create friction. You will always be in competition of one another. And you will see that across all types of relationships. Somebody has to be the feminine and somebody has to be in the masculine energy for it to work. You have to you have to have both. You have to be both in order for it to be balanced. You have to be both. I'm going to sit here and I'm going to, if you have any questions or comments, suggestions, put it in the chat and I'll read your comments. But I'm done. That was my presentation for tonight. How many of you that were blessed by this presentation about the feminine energy versus the masculine energy? Put it in the chat and tell me. I want to know how you feel. I want to know if this helped you. Put it in the chat and let me know that I have helped you when it comes to understanding what feminine energy is. Put it in the chat. I also want to take the time before I actually go to the next commercial. I want to also let you know, if you have not received, I was going to bring my book up here and I totally forgot. But if you have not ordered my book yet, What Happened to Me? How did I get here? You will be able to experience, by reading my book, some of the things that I learned about the mindset in relationships, and how relationships with family, relationships, romantic relationships, relationship with friends, how it affected the way I think, and it contributed to the woman that I am today. So make sure you go to bit.ly/autograph by Nadira and make sure you order my book if you haven't done so. Also, if you have a testimony that you would like to share here the Sisterhood Check-in broadcast. Make sure you pay it. Make sure you send me an inbox at the at handle on Facebook, Instagram at Woman of Prov. All right, it's at the bottom of the screen for those of you that are looking. If you have a testimony and you want to share it with my audience, I am open to be able to share that with you. Also, if you also need one-on-one coaching and you struggle in the areas, you may say, Nadira, you know what? I struggle with that. I struggle with operating in the feminine energy. I struggle with my identity. I struggle with trying to figure out and gaining clarity where I'm supposed to be right now. Then why don't you consider going to my website, www.womanofproverbscoaching, right? I don't think I even put that in there, but I'm going to put that up here. It's www.womanofproverbscoaching, and sign up for a session with me. And I would love to be able to talk to you and help you gain clarity, because let me tell you something. We all need somebody to talk to. We all need somebody to help us with, reminding us about our identity and our clarity, and helping us get on the path of operating and becoming the woman that we were designed to be. So I'm going to go ahead and put this in here. Let me put it in here, Woman of Proverbs Coaching. I thought I had put it up here, but apparently I didn't. So again, if you are a woman and you are struggling, let me see if that shows up now. There we go. Woman of Proverbs Coaching. Okay. If you are a woman and if you're struggling with your identity and clarity of purpose, make sure you go to the website, www.womanofproverbscoaching.com. I have classes, what I consider life classes, and I'm a firm believer that the things that we go through in our life, whether it's relationships or whether it's, whatever it is that we've gone through, we all have an opportunity. We all have a message. We all have something that we can use that's in our experience to turn into life lessons for other people. You have something that you've gone through that can help other women to be able to help bring them through. I'm a firm believer on bringing practicality to coaching, bringing practicality to solutions, and helping, giving people real life solutions on how to get out of relationships that are unhealthy, that are toxic, how to build a business, how to be able to function as a mother, as an entrepreneur. So make sure you go to my website, www.womanofproverbscoaching.com, and I promise you will find something there that can bless you. So I don't see any more comments, which is okay. And I know for some of you that are watching, if you are watching the replay at the time that this video replays, make sure you put in the comments #replay, so that when I see your comments, I'll know that you've been interactive with me. So this is it for today. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. I appreciate it. And until next week, and my saying is always this: just like hurt people, transform people can transform people too. I'll see you next week. Have a blessed week.
Refugees, dirty immigrants, asylum seekers, job stealers, that is what they see. Beautiful faces, thick accents, a melting pot of culture, holding 3 to 4 jobs, back pocket of hopes and dreams, seekers of opportunities, that is what we see. I am Georgia Lawrence, the founding attorney of Georgia Lawrence LLC. I was born and raised in Jamaica. I migrated migrated to the United States with 2 suitcases and $200 to seek a better life. I understand firsthand the importance of having a fighter on your team to navigate the complexity of the immigration system. Hence the reason I chose immigration and human rights law. Here at Georgia Lawrence LLC, we take pride in connecting our passion and purpose to your plan. Give us a call today.
What's going on, guys? It's Daily Trades with Chris here. I'm hosting a 7-day webinar for you to understand how to trade the stock market, futures market, and the forex market. This one particular trading strategy has 3 steps, okay? Very simple. All you have to do is look for a trade, place your trade, and watch your trade play out. In this 7-day webinar, I'm going to be going over exactly how to get into the market, where to get out of the market, where to set your stop loss, take profit, and you're going to have a risk management rule in place too as well. Now, this Z trade, in fact, just dropped 400 points on oil. If you do the math on that, that's about $4,000 just from one contract. If you want to learn how to make $4,000 in one single day with the Z trade, respond back to this email right here. Comment below in this video, and I'll get back to you with all the information that you're looking for.